Hi guys, Donna Lynn here. This is my daughter Hannah. She's joining me for the video today. I am semi-forcing her to join me on this video because she gave me the great idea for the topic today, which is self-assessment, the power of looking within.
That sounds so weird.
Do you want to, why did you make that suggestion?
It was the first thing that popped in my head.
Okay, which is great. We're going to say that she intuitively channeled that subject for for us today because it's an important thing to look at and talk about, and it is something that I frequently talk about and I place a lot of value on personally. So for me, the idea of self-assessment and looking within is an observational practice. It's the process of taking a step back from yourself and just watching to see with curiosity and empathy, watching yourself, observing yourself. What do you think self-assessment is?
I think of papers. I don't think of that.
What kind of papers?
Like the ones you do at school that are stupid and annoying, but you have to do them every year anyways.
Like school self-assessments.
Mhm.
Okay. So if you took like those school self-assessments and like put them on a shelf, as a different category of self-assessment, what would self-assessment mean to you?
Seeing how you're doing emotionally, mentally, physically, checking to make sure you're okay, improving whatever is not okay for you.
So like a personal internal check-in, internal and physical check-in, like an assessment, seeing where you're at, how you're feeling, how you are functioning, how your body's working, if you feel healthy, if you don't.
Yes.
Yes?
Yeah.
Okay.
You just put that into a lot of words.
I do that.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, so can you tell me what you think the benefit of doing that is? So you just mentioned
It could improve whatever mental is happening in there.
yeah.
And it could improve physical health by checking in and seeing if you can change something and making it better for your situation instead of keeping it how you are if you are, I guess, hurting in a way or something like that.
Right, if something's not feeling good, taking a look at it, identifying it, and then figuring out what you want to do to make it feel better.
Yes.
Yeah, perfect.
Again, putting it into a lot of words, but yes.
Yeah, I like to put it into my words so that I know I understand what
Yeah.
you're saying. Beautiful, brilliant, which is exactly the value I see in looking internally and spending some time self-reflecting and self-observing from a place of curiosity and empathy is very similar to Hannah's perspective on it. Is that process just simply highlights areas where you're not feeling so great, whether it be mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually, sexually, whatever it might be, areas that aren't feeling so good. You're on camera.
I know.
Any ways that aren't feeling so great and identifying them so you can just be aware of them, bring them into your awareness, hold space for them so that you can... She's falling apart behind me laughing. So that you can then change your course of action, because what's happening, it might be what you're doing, it might be external factors.
It could be what's happening around you.
It could be what's happening around you that's prompting internal responses, right? So when things around us, for example, I'm a little bit derailing from my comments, but if something is going on around you that's prompting negative response within you, that's something to look at too, right? It's not just mental, emotional, physical, spiritual, sexual. It's also like those responses to the external stimulus. How am I responding to this, and why? What's happening inside of me when these things are occurring around me, so that you can shift within yourself the areas that aren't working for you anymore, aren't serving you super well, they don't feel healthy, they don't feel confidence building, if they feel like they're diminishing you in any way, or they feel like they're, causing you to go on a negative or downward trajectory in any way, you then have the opportunity, because you've identified them, you've brought them into your awareness, you then have the opportunity to shift the course based on your reaction to them or based on your choices moving forward. So for me, that's really, I'm very antsy. That for me, that's the power of looking within, the power of self-assessment or self-observation or self-awareness, however you want to look at it, however you want to phrase it, because there is, without looking and identifying and bringing into our awareness those things that aren't working well for us, whether it's on a feeling level, an emotional level, whatever it might be, without actually identifying them and bringing them into our conscious awareness, we're not able to shift them, right? So taking the time to take a step back, and look at things can be super beneficial and super helpful to creating a shift towards a more positive path, even if it's very small shifts, like when there's that external stimulus. Do you want to give an example of this?
No, I'm not even sure what you're talking about.
Okay, so when something is going on around you that makes you feel crappy.
Oh, change your environment.
Okay,
Go somewhere else, meet new people, do something different, change what you're doing. Don't live the same thing that you're doing every single day. Change it so that you're not feeling like...
Okay, and is there anything you can do inside when whether things are going on outside or not, but things are happening and maybe your thoughts are crappy or whatever it might be? Is there anything you can do inside once you've been aware of what's going on? Is there anything you could think you can do for yourself?
Try and change how you're thinking things, like the glass is half full instead of the glass is half empty. Think of the more positive spots. That doesn't make sense. Positive things.
Yeah.
Instead of the negative, and just try and change your perspective a little.
Yeah, look for the good stuff and focus on that instead.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a great suggestion, right? Simple, small. And sometimes for me also, a suggestion I might add to Hannah's, sometimes for me also, I like to shift my perspective on how I qualify something as positive or negative, something that's good or bad. Something that feels shitty might not actually be that terrible. In the scheme of things, it causes us to feel something not awesome, perhaps. So maybe that shitty thing isn't actually a shitty thing. We're titling it that, or putting it in that, okay, the shitty things go in this box in my brain. But really, what if these things are opportunities? What if these things that feel crappy are like, okay, well, that does something inside of me. So where's my opportunity to use that as leverage to improve myself or my life or my situation or my environment in some way or another? So that's my addition to Hannah's suggestion of looking at things from a little bit more positive lens, finding that silver lining, focusing on the good stuff, the positive feelings and the positive feeling stuff in a situation or experience. Maybe try to look at things from a slightly different perspective. Sometimes, hi ladies, I see you guys, I see all your hearts. We are watching you, we see you. Thank you so much for being here. Is maybe just also see if you can look at things from a little bit different perspective in how you categorize things, or there's a million different ways you could spin something. So maybe taking a moment to step back and look at, this is how I am seeing this, but could I see it from a different perspective? Is there a different way to look at this? If I spin it a little bit, how does that shift my lens? How does that grant me opportunity to potentially view this experience or situation a little bit differently? So anything you'd like to add to self-assessment, the power of looking within?
No.
No? Okay, you guys, that's all we have for you today. I love you all. Thank you so much for tuning in. We'll talk to you soon.